Hey everybody, it's Joe with Bumblenakers. I hope y'all are doing well. I'm sitting in front of my baby pond, which we're gonna have our water drainage systems go into. So hopefully by this time next year it'll be twice as large, and with any luck we'll get enough water next year and have the system set up where this will be full and I'll be able to sit and have my feet in the water. But we shall see. That's future plans. Wanted to kind of talk about something that's been on my mind. As you can see, our chickens, I usually feed our ducks from here, so all the chickens are trying to get the food that I would toss to the ducks, but I fed them earlier today, so chicken scavenger stealing from the ducks. But as you can, our water tote systems, you can see two of our tote gatherings that collect the water coming off the house. And one of the things, we broke down the systems a little too early this year. That was one of the lessons I learned, was to keep the actual tied together totes longer so that we don't have to drain them quite so much, because any good sized downpour, you'd be surprised how quickly, how little bit of water it takes coming off. Our house is about 2,000 square feet, so we have 2,000 square feet roof collecting water, funnels off mainly to one side, so it really it'll fill up a tote. Just a small light rain that lasts all night will fill up those totes. So if you're going to do a water collection system, it's amazing how quickly those things hold. About 300 gallons of water before they start to overflow. They're rated to 250 before it stops keeping track, but you can kind of guesstimate what's left on it. And 300 gallons of water will fill up in one night from a decent rain. I mean, and just a light, good, steady rain, it'll fill up 300-gallon totes off each side where there's a downspout. So just a FYI on that one. Make sure you don't break down your water collection systems before the rain stops. Of course, we've had an odd season here where it's been wet. We had a drowning summer to start, then it was a drought, then it was some more rain, and then obviously we've had a long fall. We've had a lot of Indian summers recently, and a whole lot of late winter with some severe weather. So it's been interesting with the totes and the water gathering, our first year doing it. This goes out to anyone who's looking at starting homesteading. Let me just go out there on my own. I have always felt like I'm a fairly intelligent person, but I grew up thinking I was pretty dumb, and that I was incapable of some things. And today I was reminded of innovation, and something very simple. I was putting up the hoses because we have to hook the totes up to hose systems to drain them. And then you have to gather all the hoses up because it's not good for them to be out, and it gets down to freezing right now at night, and that's just not good to have hoses out, and that'll destroy your hoses. So for us it was a matter of having to break out the hoses and put them back and break them out, and then hook them back up and break them out. And each hose is about 100 feet, so you're having to completely gather it, and what's the best way to do that. And for those who aren't firefighters, I guess, you don't have a whole lot of, just the repetitive motion of gathering a hose can get really tiring. And trying to just manually work through what was the best way to tie up. Come on, guineas! Oh, by the way, if you get guinea hens, look forward to them being a little noisy, because that's what they are. But it reminded me about innovation. And, when you get into homesteading, you're going to be challenged with a lot of things you've never done before. And there's a lot of incredibly intelligent people in the homesteading community. I highly recommend going out and reading books by Joel Salatin. There's the Dohertys, who have a farm in Ohio on the same kind of geographical horizontal line as we have. So what they do is very, very interesting and important for us, because it's something we can directly see how it handles the weather we get, because we get roughly the same weather. And they're brilliant, and they have a how-to guidebook that's very, very, very important. So if you get a chance, look up the book. I'll put the name of the book in the notes on this, because it's very, very good. If you get a chance to read Joel Salatin's books, I've read The Marvelous Pigness of Pigs, which was a great book just to talk about permaculture mindset, and especially it kind of discusses religious thinking as well. And it's a very, very, I think, important book for people in the permaculture mindset to read, especially from a religious perspective, where you're kind of grappling with how we were raised and what we thought, and there's ways to reconcile what was presented as like the earth movement, and as kind of sacrilegious in many ways it was presented growing up. So it kind of helps address how is a Christian and environmentalism, and how do we balance those things and such. So difference between taking care of the earth and earth worship, for example, is something you hear a lot in fundamental circles and conservative religious circles. So if you're getting in, you have that background, I highly recommend that book. It'll kind of help your mindset and how you prepare. Plus, their how-to sections are really, really important, and they kind of discuss the dimensions of their chicken tractors and their water systems and all those things that are very, very important. But today I want to talk about innovation, and it occurred to me that we have a tendency to think of innovation and innovative thinkers as these giant intellectuals, and that innovation is an intellectual activity. And to me, you know, I realized today that innovation is not intellectual. It is experiential. It is from doing a task, you start to look at, okay, how can I do this better? How can I do what is the best way to do this? Why don't I try some different things? Let's see how this works. And through that trial and error, you innovate. And as a homesteader, you're going to be challenged to do simple things like, how do I set up my garden? And innovation is you going, well, I tried this last year, it didn't work, let me try this and see how this works. And before you know it, you go, hey, that actually worked. And I have something I can share with my local community. And that's the genius of innovation. And people will think you're a genius, and really you're just innovating and utilizing your experience. So it's winter here, so there isn't really much I can show you. We're real excited about getting our garden spaces together. I know Deborah's going over what seeds she wants to plant this year. We went to an animal auction last night, actually, and it was our first auction going to. We wanted to kind of get a feel for what it was like. It was actually great. There was an animal, and then there was a general auction that went on, and there was actually stuff that we didn't register because I didn't want to have the temptation of bidding when I wasn't prepared. I kind of wish we had, because there were a couple things that came up that would have been nice in the general auction. There were some pigs that I think Deborah really wanted to get, but we do not have the paddock area set up for pigs. So once again, grateful I didn't set up and register to bid. But if you get a chance and you're a homesteader, go to a local auction. There's things going on. You can look at them online and go and kind of get a feel for what the experience is like. Because for me, it was a little intimidating to go into that. And it really wasn't just saying, oh, people were great. The auction ran smoothly. There was a lot of good, funny moments. There was some, there were some real deals. And I'll be honest, at the auction we were at, if you have horses, they were getting some really horse tackle gear and everything for very, very inexpensive. Now, I do not know enough about horses about whether the deal was worth the cost. It all looked of good quality to me. But once again, it's outside of my element. A lot of saddles. They had saddles going for $100. That was really cheap. They had really good barrel riding saddles that were going on. So if you haven't been to an auction, I highly recommend look at your local things. They'll do the livestock usually, note, last. So if it starts at 5, I think this one started at like 5:30, and it went on. We left at probably 10:30, and there was probably still another hour and a half of the auction going on. So be prepared. It's going to take a day. It'll take up a lot, but you can really get some good deals on things. We actually were looking to kind of see what animals would sell for. As we started looking forward to is we're going to get our goats. And you know, when you raise animals, especially if you're doing dairy products, you're going to have an excess of your herd. And how do we manage that excess? And looking for a way to find a way to get rid of the excess that we don't want. Still good quality. Don't take crap quality to the auction. But that was pretty interesting for us. So innovation. Go to a livestock auction, and if you're new, don't be afraid to try and fail, because that makes you innovative. So anyway, Joe with Bumbling Acres. My ducks are kind of getting ornery, so I'm going to let you go. You all have a great and wonderful day. Bye.